What's up, race fans, and welcome. My name is Matt Moffin, and I'm taking the wheel as your Mazda Road to Indy TV host. We're here in Birmingham, Alabama. It is a beautiful day at Barber Motorsports Park. It's got twists and turns and elevation changes. They're going to test the skill and the mettle of all the drivers on all three levels of the Mazda Road to Indy. It's been almost a month now since the trucks rolled out of St. Petersburg. Let's catch up with some of the USF 2000 and ProMazda drivers and see what they've been doing with their downtime.
Just been hanging out with my friends, been doing a little bit of flying, just taking it easy and getting ready for this race. That's about it.
We're always really busy during the race weekend, so it's kind of nice to get a chance to kind of relax and enjoy our time off.
Myself, been really busy back home. I've got Drive to Stay Alive, which is a campaign against distracted driving. So I've been to about 10 schools since our last race in St. Petersburg. So been pretty busy with that, but happy to be back at a racetrack. It's great.
Oh mate, look, I've been doing everything you can think of. Skydiving, jumping off cliffs, water skiing, just, absolutely everything. It's been hectic, just everything you can think of I've been doing.
Been doing a lot of mountain biking. Found a lot of really cool local trails, some really stellar switchback, hand-built. A lot of guys have been building since it's been raining a lot, so yeah, some really awesome mountain bike trails. Other than that, I met a couple of cool goats at a putting zoo. One was named Kevin and Barbara. So yeah.
Spending some time in Baja, California with my family and friends, doing some fishing and outdoor stuff. It's what I really like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the gym doing sim work and yeah, just trying to be mentally motivated coming into this weekend.
Had some time at home, some time to study for my APs that I'll be taking before I leave for Indy. Went back home to New Zealand after St. Pete. Also just started my own graphic design company actually while I was back home.
So I've been practicing my coordination a lot by playing almost too much ping pong. I play a lot of ping pong.
Just a few short miles from Barber Motorsports Park is the city of Birmingham, Alabama, which you can see behind me. It's the only city in the South to host an IndyCar event. Let's take this afternoon to just explore some of the history and the heritage that this town has to offer. Let's check it out. Iron production is what put Birmingham, Alabama on the map. After producing iron for almost 90 years, the Sloss Furnaces of Birmingham are now a National Historic Landmark and a major tourist attraction. Paying homage to its roots, Birmingham built the world's largest cast iron sculpture, the Vulcan. The Vulcan was completed and installed in 1936. This statue stands over 56 feet tall and is raised to a height of over 180 feet on its pedestal. It sits atop this beautiful southern city. Tonight we're going to eat at the Golden Rule BBQ. It's the oldest continuously operating restaurant in Alabama, first opened its doors in 1891. When you're in the South, you gotta have a little Southern barbecue. As a bonus, we're gonna get to talk to a ProMazda driver. Let's go see who it is. What better way to finish the day than with some Southern barbecue? Talking with Pato O'Ward tonight.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
We know you best on the track. What we wanna do is get to know you a little bit away from the track. So when you're not at a racetrack, what's Pato O'Ward doing?
I think Pato, off the track is usually, I like to box. That's another, it's like more like a hobby. I'm not much of like a fighter, but I'm more of like, I use the boxing as like a training and trying to get into shape to be able to drive the race car fast. It's more like muscle endurance and not much like gaining muscle because then I'm too heavy. So, I mean, but basically when I get home, I just box, I hang out with friends. I have to do, obviously, my schoolwork. I'm still a sophomore in high school. But I just try to get that done and try to make my schedule as easy as possible when I'm at the race weekend. So I don't have too much on my shoulders so I can just focus full on what I'm doing, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Doing your schoolwork in the morning and boxing in the afternoon, I think it would probably be really surprising to a lot of people to find out, though it's actually very common in the road to Indy, that you're still in high school.
Yeah, I'm still a sophomore in high school. I used to go to a Texas Military Institute, and now I'm doing an online program for them, which allows me to do schoolwork on my own time. I usually try to be as focused as I can during the weeks that I'm not racing. And then where I have the racing, it's just full-fledged focus on the racing. I don't think of school. But when I get back, then I have to get back in rhythm. I have to start my routine again. But I mean, it seems to be going fine, I think.
Yeah, two different worlds, two different parts of your brain.
Definitely, yeah, it's two different personalities and characters when you're at the racetrack, or you're just a kid at home doing school and just try being a kid.
What sort of activities do you guys like to do? You kind of stay in, watch a movie, play some video games, or you want to go outdoors? You camping, biking, rock climbing?
My friends aren't that much of like outdoors. We play one video game, and it's an Xbox One, and our favorite video game is Grand Theft Auto 5. That's our favorite video game. When we play, we just get everybody with a headset, everybody joins into a lobby. We don't play much of racing video games. I've tried, but I'm so bad.
Surprising.
Yeah. I mean, we sometimes go bowling or we go play golf. Personally, I'm terrible at the golf.
Yeah?
Oh yeah,
you should golf with me sometime. You'll look really good.
Yeah, I've heard some drivers use golf as a hobby, but I tried it out. Not my thing. I'm so bad.
Bowling, any better?
Bowling, I'm quite decent in bowling. I think I can stick to driving a race car and boxing.
All right, Pato, thanks so much for your time answering our questions. It's enough talking. Let's get in some of this delicious food here.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
This episode on Did You Know, we're talking to David Storvick, the director and chaplain of IndyCar Ministries. David, what's something we might not have known?
Well, IndyCar Ministry ministers to all four of the IndyCar series, IndyCar, Indy Lights, ProMazda, and USF 2000. And one of the things that we do is we offer prayer to every driver in every series before every race. That's approximately 80 drivers on a race weekend where all four series are there. So that can be up to 160 prayers if we have doubleheaders and things like that. We also do an actual church service at the track, and then we bring in a Catholic priest to do a Catholic Mass for our Catholic community as well. And we're also here in times of spiritual and emotional support for the entire paddock area, which could be as many as 1,500 to 2,000 people.
We're here at the Carlin Hauler with team manager Colin Hale. Colin, you guys are a UK-based team competing in North America. Can you tell me about some of the challenges that go along with that?
Well, certainly this year it's certainly been a little bit easier. Last year, coming over to a country that you've not seen a large part of, and certainly none of the circuits, and personally just trying to move from one circuit to another, and until you do that, you don't realise quite how big the country is, and the logistics of it are a huge challenge, very, very different to Europe. We've recently just taken over our own workshop in Florida. With Florida, there's just no competition. You know, anywhere in the UK is very different to Florida, or anywhere in the States, it's just totally different. But you know, it's nice to wake up in the morning and the sun's always shining, which you know for sure you don't get in England. But you know, it has its downsides because I spend a lot of time away from my friends and my family. But you know, that's what we do to go racing. So you know, it's just a very different lifestyle.
So when you guys aren't at racetracks or aren't working on cars, which I know isn't very much time, what would a typical member of the Carlin team be doing?
That depends, I think. Depends on the individuals. Obviously, as you can see, a lot of the guys that work with me here are quite a lot younger than me. So what their idea of a relaxing weekend might be quite different to mine. But you know, I think it's such a busy life with going to the races and travelling and flying that people just tend to just relax and try and just chill out on the odd times that they do have days off. So whether it's just trying to catch up with your sleep or going and having a few drinks, you know, it's just what normal people do. But I think it's nice to get away and be quiet because our lives just tend to be quite noisy and busy. Just to relax and just not have anything that's scheduled is a nice thing to do.
So where might we find Colin Hale on a non-race weekend?
Probably sat on the sofa with his feet on the table watching TV with a cold beer in his hand, I would imagine.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Colin. Best of luck in the race tomorrow. The first series on track was the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda. Race 1 went off without a hitch, running green from start to finish. Parker Thompson took an early lead and never looked back as he cruised to the top step of the podium, his first victory of the season. Race 2 wasn't quite so smooth. James Monroe brought out an early caution. On a racetrack where it is notoriously difficult to pass, Robert McGuinness started 10th and neatly picked his way through the field to finish 3rd. Parker Thompson held off a late race charge from Luke Gavin to secure back-to-back wins and put himself right into championship contention. In Race 1 of the ProMazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, Pato O'Ward made an aggressive start, quickly moving from 4th up to 2nd behind his teammate and pole sitter Aaron Tielitz. The two quickly left the rest of the field far behind until Jake Parsons hit the wall, bringing out a caution. That stacked the field up for a restart. Pato was able to get the best of his teammate to finish 1st, and Garrett Grist defended against pressure from Weyron Tan to finish 3rd. Race 2 started clean. Pato O'Ward made a good start from pole, but disaster erupted behind him between turns 4 and 5. Weyron Tan went from being a driver to a passenger when his car left the track and became an airborne projectile after making contact with Jake Parsons down the straight. Both drivers were thankfully okay. After the debris was cleared up, the race ran green to the end with Pato O'Ward, Aaron Tielitz, and Garrett Grist all retaking the podium in their same positions from Race 1. Race 1 of the Indy Lights Championship, presented by Cooper Tires, went pretty much all Ed Jones's way. He leapt from the pole and quickly began to distance himself from the rest of the field. His teammate, Felix Sorales, shunning the notion that you can't pass at Barber, charged through the field from 12th to claim 2nd place. Meanwhile, Zach Veach, in a car that was not quite set up to his liking, endured relentless pressure from Shelby Blackstock to bring the car home 3rd. Race 2 saw Ed Jones again on pole position. Early mistakes by Felix Sorales and Zach Veach saw the 2nd and 3rd place finishers from Race 1 settle for 15th and 10th respectively. Ed Jones was unable to get away from Santiago Urrutia, who passed him for the lead and checked out for the rest of the race. Jones came home 2nd, and Dean Stoneman came 3rd, salvaging some much-needed points after a mechanical failure took him out of Race 1. Well, race fans, that concludes this episode of Road to Indy TV. As you can see, there's still lots of action happening on the track, so join us next time for even more in-depth coverage of all the action this weekend at Barber Motorsports Park. Until then, I'm Matt Boppin. Thanks for watching.